The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange JSSE is a pioneering social platform that changes lives, empowers businesses and individuals, and positively impacts the social sector. Incorporated in 2019, and within the year of formation, was fortunate to get technical assistance from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. The JSSE seeks to enable social sector organizations, SSOs, that is, social enterprises and non-for-profit organizations, to attract financing through investments, to sustain project development and organizational longevity and robustness. This JSSE proprietary developed platform connects social enterprises and their projects with interested donors and investors. This case study seeks to document the success or failure of this venture and to answer the question, did the SE attract the funding and public attention to sustain longevity and robustness? So, what is the JSSE? Why was it needed?
The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange was established in 2019, and it is really copied from the Jamaica Stock Exchange itself, where the objective is to provide a safe, efficient, and ethical market.
It gives so much more exposure to all these different entities that were doing work and needed to formalize themselves and be more transparent, so it would be more aware. Everybody would be more aware of what is happening on the social scene.
To assist Jamaica to have a robust and vibrant social sector that can address some very important social problems that we have in Jamaica.
At the heart of this groundbreaking initiative is a passionate and dedicated team of individuals committed to fostering positive change in how social entities mobilize, spend, account for, and measure their contribution, revolutionizing the way social sector organizations, SSOs, that is, social enterprises, secure sustainable funding to operate. Who are the beneficiaries of the JSSE?
There are two sets of beneficiaries for the Social Stock Exchange. The first set of beneficiaries are persons who have programs, have social projects that they want capital to seed, to get to do the work. And then the other beneficiary is the person who gives, because there is a benefit when you give and a social project is successful. It plays out in the entire social ecosystem.
As you may know, social enterprises are businesses that are run not for profit, but for the benefit of the community. And so in that process, we became involved with the Jamaica Stock Exchange to provide a means by which capital can be obtained by these social enterprises. Over the years, working together, we have got the government of Jamaica to recognize social enterprises as a viable business option. And so over the period of time, we have introduced many companies to this initiative of social enterprise.
In late 2019, the Selection and Listing Committee selected 5 non-government organizations, NGOs, to be listed on the JSSE. One of the remarkable aspects of the JSSE to date is its diverse range of impact-driven enterprises listed. Who are these 5 NGOs and what are their social impact causes? How were they selected?
Prospective applicants are invited to submit an application. The application is vetted by a selection committee that is comprised of representatives from the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange Board, as well as other experts in the social services field.
The organization has to be a registered entity in Jamaica. They would have to present us with audited financial statements from their operations in the past, and of course the capacity in terms of their technical ability.
And another thing that we do in the process is also we conduct site visits just to ensure that what we're looking at exists.
Since their listings, JSSE investor donors have donated over 51.5 million Jamaican dollars to assist various SSO projects focusing on improving the lives of vulnerable individuals, organizations, and communities. Let's look at some of these social enterprises and their high-impact projects.
My name is Blake Whitmer, and I'm representative of Def Can Coffee. Our social enterprise started 8 years ago in 2015, really without a vision and a plan to have a business. But students from Kingston took a trip to St. Elizabeth. There they met a deaf coffee farmer. His name was Evelyn Clark. Clark's passion for coffee, his passion for community, his passion for who he was as a deaf person, and that strong identity influenced our youth from Kingston to believe that if he can do it, they can do it too.
My name is David Silvera. I'm with Mustard Seed Communities, which is a NGO that cares for the disabled, physically, mentally disabled, most of the children with HIV/AIDS in Jamaica. We also have a home for abused pregnant teens.
Okay, my name is Dr. Henley Morgan, and I am founder and executive chairman for Agency for Inner City Renewal.
I am Dr. Donovan Thomas, president and founder of Choose Life International. The mission of Choose Life International is to help people live physically, emotionally, and spiritually. The organization has been in existence since 2008, and our work impacts families, individuals, corporate sector, the educational sector, and the church community.
My name is Donald Rudd. I'm the managing director of a social enterprise called Love Changes Lives. Love Changes Lives operates mainly in primary and secondary schools, and we use pro-social values to counter or work to overcome children who have difficulty with antisocial behavior and who may also be involved in violent activity.
Well, the difficulties when you're trying to do social enterprises in this environment, obviously the first and foremost is we have to care. We have just use Jamaica as an example, we have over 400 disabled and other residents in our care. We have 400 staff to pay, about 415 staff.
Lack of financing. Okay, so you might identify a need and you develop a project to address those needs, but then there is the financing.
So, like any other business, the social enterprise sometimes needs capital. And generally what has happened in Mustard Seed is any proceeds go straight back into caring for the residents. So it's hard to grow a business when your profits are 100% to care for the disabled.
Lack of capacity. That means the kind of organizational structure and the staffing that can even execute the project and that can be held accountable for the use of donor funds.
So we got involved with the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange in the hope of being able to meet some of these CapEx expenses so that we could grow the social enterprise part of the business. And the contribution, we're not actually on the Social Stock Exchange as yet, but the support and the contribution and help we have gotten from them to look in that direction has been wonderful.
What were some of the requirements these SEs had to meet to list, and what was the process?
One of the good things for us though is that we believe in being compliant with what is required by government, etc. So we just needed to structure the stuff and to be able to do the submission. So all those statutory, etc. were actually in place, but we needed to write the project. All of the 5 aspects of the project that we are presenting are things that we were already doing, but we needed to bring it together in a creative way under one umbrella to be able to communicate our passion and the principles of transformation that we really were so very strong and convicted about and to get it out there. So we worked hard with their help. We submitted papers. Management, including Nora, gave us their feedback, and we wrote papers. We were up late at night with my staff members, just trying to hammer out the submission. And praise God, we made the submission.
We brought on board external auditors and audit accountants and auditors, and to streamline and to put our financial records as well as business in order to what we would call first-class standards.
Transparency and accountability are key pillars of the JSSE. How were projects monitored to ensure transparency and accountability to the donor investors?
Currently, the JSSE utilizes United Way as that organization that conducts the monitoring and evaluation.
So there's accountability at different levels, and the platform is accessible to the donors at any time.
The JSSE is now moving decisively and is an active part in the change in policy by the Jamaican government to spearhead much needed policies and procedures, providing a conducive regulatory environment and incentives to encourage further and wider participation from domestic and international communities to support the transformative potential of this groundbreaking initiative.
The role and impact of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange so far is relatively limited. It has been one of lobbying, make advocacy. They want the government to move in this direction. As I've told you, the government is moving in that direction. We expect that a social stock exchange, if not as robust as that at first, will be welcomed by the people who are supporting it and are making sure the legislation gets done as quickly as we can so we can establish it. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange will be our baby.
Have the activities pursued by the JSSE been a success?
Market 1 has been successful, but there is a growth period. We are still growing because without the social fabric being in place in a positive way, growth of the economy does not take place.
So, what's next for the JSSE?
We would love to see, first, a great acceleration of the capital flowing in to the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange for projects, because there are so many projects. We want to see many more projects and many more persons across the globe buying into social giving with an impact.
And what I'd say is that every company that makes donations and sponsorship for events and other activities related to the social sector should be encouraged to do it through the JSSE. And so the job now is for the JSSE, for persons like myself and you all, to continue to spread the good news about the organization and to really get it recognized as a best place through which funds should flow to the charitable sector or to the social sector.
The government must make the playing field easy for businesses to do business so they can employ people, because the government doesn't make money. Business make the money and we get our taxes from them to do government.
Those small enterprises will become the largest employers of people in Jamaica. And they will become entities that will make a great contribution to GDP. Right now, they make a contribution estimated of about 7%. We want to see them in the future increasing that support to our gross domestic product. So that is some of the things we would like to see happening in the future.
So we want to make sure, that's why you see I'm so supportive of the stock exchange, of business, because as we make the playing field worthwhile and even and fair for people to do business well, they employ a lot more people and often pay them more as they get richer.
Many have been inspired by the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange and the transformative potential of what else it can do and achieve. By harnessing the power of finance for social good, these enterprises are creating a brighter future for Jamaica and setting an example for the world.
We want to thank all persons who have journeyed with us so far. The entities that, for example, the IDB, that has seen it fit to work with us through their financial support and other. We are indeed pleased, and we know that based on that, there is longevity of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange.
To learn more about the JSSE and how you can be part of this social transformation movement, please visit jsse.jamstockx.com. Together, we can create a world that recognizes that investments in people always bring the greatest returns.